Welcome back to LCS Lock-In. We are at a 1-0 lead for Team Liquid over FlyQuest. Had an upset earlier on, hoping that FlyQuest can do the same to tie this series up. And of course, as you can see from the pretty pictures down there at the bottom, Ayla and Whippo have subbed in, and TL is playing the roster they played in Game 1 of Lock-In.
Gonna be exciting to see Whippo back. I think he's one of the most fun players to watch, honestly. He's so creative. He thinks about the game in a very different way. Obviously bringing out, some tanky Rengar. He did the Hullbreaker Redemption Scion build. He is willing to march to the beat of his own drum, and I think it makes it so exciting every time he is playing. So I'm a big Whippo fan, loving that. Gonna be interested to see exactly what they will bring out here and what adaptations they're gonna make in picks and bans. Do they think the Thresh was a problem? Ayla was great on it when he played. Quarterfinals obviously was dominant on it last time around. Are there gonna be any bans towards picks that were grabbed up last time?
We're going to find out. Caitlyn off the table still, but as we know, Team Liquid had plenty of early aggressive options with that Kalista. Still no Renekton allowed. LeBlanc usually hits the ban list, and we'll see if there's any more pressure towards aggressive high push bot laners.
Renekton going to be banned away from Kumo, one of his best champions for sure. A lot of the OPs are still available. Corki now being taken away, so TL potentially trying to set up for a kind of a mismatch mid lane, take away one of those scaling picks, ban away one of those scaling picks, get an edge in that 1v1 for Bjergsen against Tukoi.
No Thresh
okay.
or Core JJ. LeBlanc still on the table. Victor still on the table. LeBlanc to me is a first pick worthy champion. Question is, does Team Liquid even respect that from Tukoi? Wait for that final ban. And you gotta just do the trade in your head. Okay, so if they first pick this, what 2 things do we get in response? And then can we kill number 3? And that's what the Jarvan ban is okay, we can take, and the thing is, like, Xin Zhao and Lee Sin are still up, so you're not really even pinching jungle that heavy.
It feels like the only thing I see from this is you're really thinking, okay, only way they can win is if they have early ganks, snowball the game. Something like a J4 I think does that better than the other champions that are meta right now. Diana coming through is really exciting because to me, Diana is actually the best performing champion in pro play on this new season, like in this new year. Diana across all pro play has a 67% win rate with 52 games. It has been absolutely dominant. Obviously the classic pairing Diana Yasuo is really, really popular. That would be unexpected from Tukoi because like LeBlanc being left up, well, Tukoi is not known for those style of picks. He's known for control mages. Yasuo not into that kind of grouping, but having talked to some people on FlyQuest, he is really working on expanding the champion pool, and this could be, I think, a pretty exciting opportunity for him to do it. But Jinx going to be grabbed up for Hansama, Zing going to be grabbed up for Santorin, so extreme comfort there for TL, plus really powerful scaling here coming out of that bot lane. Hansama playing that bread and butter champion here.
And it's going to be locked in.
It is the Yasuo!
So it is his career first Yasuo game. Up until this point, the most played melee champ he had was Akali with 5 plays, which was 9th in his champion pool. He is not a big melee champ player, at least hasn't been. There's a couple of Sylas games in there as well, and that's basically it. So it is a new look for him, but this is going to be fun.
And I'm excited to see how he will perform on it, because Yasuo is one of those champions, we were actually talking about this earlier, where you need to put a ton of games in, right? Especially on the pro level. Mistakes are punished so incredibly heavily. LeBlanc going to be the answer here for TL, so that is left up. That is a big pick for Bjergsen. Ton of plays on it. You put it as the #1 priority mid laner right now. I know solo queue data-wise, this is quite a good matchup for Yasuo. It's actually, fairly favored to that side, but Bjergsen obviously extremely confident, and pro play can be an absolutely different beast. We do not have parity across, everything so far. So we'll see if it's just going to be a lot of support bans, if both people are going to be kind of willing to thin that pool, or if there will be concerns about top lane. Because if I'm on FlyQuest and I'm playing blue side, you have to blind pick Kumo's top laner, right? So if you are worried about some of these counter picks coming out from Whippo, I think I would be more concerned about banning out Whippo, whereas TL, I think they are probably more looking to set up for this bot lane dominance.
You can see Jace at the table looking at, like, what are the answers going to be? We can see Nautilus off as, another CC option. It's one of the knock-up supports down there. Alistar, of course, could have been an option. Gragas fits it pretty well. I mean, Gragas Yasuo was also one of the combos we used to see. So that's, almost an easy slot. And it's like, what's a blind pick top laner who has Yasuo? Gragas.
Yeah.
Gragas. Like, if you tell Yasuo, hey, what champion do you want? They just say Gragas, like, regardless of role. It goes in 3 different spots.
I agree. I think the only thing that can be concerning is if you over-index into setup for the Yasuo.
Sure.
Sometimes it looks bad. You're like, all right, we got Alistar, Gragas, Diana, all for the Yasuo, and then the Yasuo's having a bad game, and it's just so worthless. So they may want to get some other threats. I do think that obviously they're looking to set up this sort of dive. Jhin, I think, is more of that utility pick to follow up on the dive. Diana goes in, Yasuo there for the immediate follow-up, Jhin ulti over top, and then we're going to see if they're just going to fully commit 2 5v5 with a Malphite or a Gragas or whatever, or if they're going to look to try to bring in side lane threats and different types of pressure to put out here on the map.
Well, Rakan going to be grabbed. Of course, that is one of the other knock-up options, and either way, TL, again, likely to wait for top lane counter pick. And that means that Whippo, welcome back to the roster. You played 1 game out, is going to have his pick of the litter once he sees his matchup up against Kumo. Yasuo can play top, so I wouldn't expect you to blind it there. I think you're happy playing against LeBlanc, to be honest. Bard could be a cool pick. Aftermo had played it before, said, yeah, I've been playing solo queue, it feels good. Just kind of went for it. And it looked good there. We'll see if he wants to do it again.
And I think it's strong against Jinx. So I do think it can actually be a viable pick against some of those lower mobility champions. You know, you are close enough, you just put that ultimate straight onto Jinx's head, and it will be locked in alongside the Gwen. So blind Gwen here will be interesting to see if Whipple wants to go for one of those more kind of solo QE style counters, things like the Jax, but Jax doesn't team fight as well. So there's obviously options like the Graves that he's brought out a fair bit. A lot of people have brought out into this Gwen matchup. You do get outscaled, but it's a common answer in Pro. We saw it earlier in LEC today as well, where people just look to shove and try to get things done elsewhere. Whipple also had a really crazy game on Graves earlier in lock-in where he was going for heavy lethality and playing it super aggressive, not just shield blow plus Bloodthirster, not that more defensive style. And this is going to be a really exciting game here. Bard trying to set up and fish for these picks can try to set up for this Diana Yasuo combo. Kumo had an incredible game on the Gwen against 100 Thieves. It was a big part of their win there. If they can get side lane pressure, you kind of have this really powerful 4-man squad that can move around, find long-range picks with the Bard, the follow-up from the Jhin, the Diana, the Yasuo. And on the other side, it's a lot about, it feels like, early shove here on the top side with the Graves. Santorin can play really strongly around the Graves, around Bjergsen on the LeBlanc. I think Ayla's going to want to get out of lane and look to kind of scrap with his team, look to move around with his jungler. On Sama, it's just about farm. It's about scaling for late. Feels like he is their assurance policy in this one.
Gonna be fun to watch for. Of course, looking at that Diana-Yasuo synergy, not only is it because, well, Diana has the knock-up of the ult, so Yasuo gets to get in the team fight. Isn't that great? It's so fun, and it's Yasuo's favorite, but the thing is, Yasuo holds them in place for the second half of Diana ult, right? You Distortion out, you Gale Force out, you use half Rakan's entire kit to get it. It's so easy to leave the second half of Diana ulti unless Yasuo holds you in place, and then both bursts hit, and then the team fight starts from there. That's, I think, really what makes it so fun, why this like to play together, and I believe that is Gwen getting over the wall into that brush.
And it's a perfect combo with AP/AD, right? Kumo is starting level 1. This is a wraparound. A lot of people do like to start that E level 1, and you try to wrap behind them. I have seen Santorin with Whippo about the face check.
It's going to be a slow. Will they find a stun from the Bard? Right now you throw it. It's a stun. It's a Jhin follow-up. No way out. And it's going to be a walk away. What a nice level 1 by FlyQuest.
Yeah, that worked out incredibly well there. They didn't even need the Gwen because Whippo just kind of gift wrapped himself, walked right in. First blood on the Jhin is going to feel great. That's a 5-pot start here with boots and a longsword for Johnson. So they better win this lane at that point. Even being able to grab, we'll see this in the Roccat flip the switch replay here. Whippo just walking on in. They saw Jose Dioto, and they thought they were actually pincering Jose Dioto. They didn't realize that the bot lane was there. The binding is perfect. W for the root. Fourth shot comes through, securing the kill. Great stuff out of the FlyQuest bot lane, and just a really intelligent level 1. And now Whippo going to walk in.
Dash, auto, burn ghost, auto. Nope, nothing else but the auto attacks here, but it's going to be a solid trade. Whippo has to reload. Gets 3 autos out, so it makes the trade relatively equal.
Definitely not worth.
Yeah, I mean, ghost for nothing, and the health bar gets pretty close.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit too excited there. You're not Darius, right? You are a level 1 Gwen. You can have these nice little trades, but that Graves can do the same thing. Graves has E auto resets as well and actually trades pretty evenly there. Plus has additional sustain in the early levels. So not the best trade. You are down Ghost, but not the end of the world either here. And it's going to be interesting to see how this 2v2 does play out. Afro playing Fleet. This is kind of his own take on it. He talked about it a little bit in his interview after he played it last time. He felt that it's really powerful for the trading, for the heal, but also particularly for the move speed that it did give him to actually follow with additional autos and look for that sort of play where Bard really can play pretty heavily around these move speed discrepancies between your speed ups and the slowdowns on those chime autos.
Sure, definitely going to be pretty meaningful there. So we get into the lane again, and Ayla gets a nice trade, lands the knockup, goes back for an auto attack, and then walks it back out with the shield. He's going to be fine. Spike comes in, and now it's junglers scrapping back and forth, level 3 on both, but smart of Santorin to identify he is the stronger early game champion. Forces Idioto out, burns the flash off of him, and takes some of the jungle away.
Yeah, this is a really big deal. He's actually going to 3-buff him, unless Jose Idioto can get out to the blue, but I don't see that happening. Nice binding. Yeah,
Afro's pretty tanky, has that fleet ward. Flash is over! Beautiful by Johnson. Items at work now. Flash is up for Ayla. Is it going to be enough to kill him, though? The spells come back up in a second. W's up right now. Good sidestep on the route. Has to flash what might have just barely been a stun.
Yeah, that 4 shot was about to come through as well. Biffo just proxying, though. They're getting a big advantage here. Back-to-back games. Santorin, knowing he has the edge on a matchup, knowing he has the edge in the 1v1, he invades topside. Playing around that strength shows TL, setting up this really, really well. And Jose Idioto trying to help Tukui just reset this. Santorin is coming straight towards mid lane, though, and this could get really bad. They do not win this 2v2.
Flash chain. Takui doesn't have a good way out. The flash is... Oh, he doesn't reach! Oh. The W didn't reach, but it's going to be enough anyway. Still has a slow, has a knock, a big damage. Afro is in! Bjergsen claims his first kill. How about the rest of it, though? Because Johnson's now here as well in the magical journey. Second kill comes across, and suddenly there is no damage left. You have no mana. Goodbye to the Jhin. And it's a double kill in for Santorin. Team Liquid are right back into the game.
FlyQuest forced that so hard. They just needed to push out mid and back it up, but they lost track of where Santorin is. This Diana is already down a flash, was already going to be down camps. Now you're down 2 kills. You're going to be down potentially multiple levels here. That is so rough. Even Johnson getting involved ends up going down, so they're just not able to fully reset it. And then Decoy, the chain is latched there. Bjergsen flashes in, lands the chain. The W flash from Santorin was just short. But the move here from Afro coming in, trying to save his mid laner, not quite in time. Bjergsen gets the kill. Ayla arrives, and now Kumo looks like he may be going down.
Pretty low. Whippo without an ignite can't force rest the kill, so it's probably going to be the ability to reset and come back. Or, ooh, he's going to rush camp him. Okay. Recall into the mid lane. Bjergsen loves to see it. Lost chapter in the inventory. That is the spike you really, really, really want to hit. It costs the same as a Noon Quiver, and one of these guys gets to buy it, the other does not, as we quite far behind.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. And I mean, honestly, they gave away a lot of their advantage on bot side as well. Because Johnson moved up, died, and that allowed Hansama to actually equalize farm, push it in fully, get a reset of his own, so he's not nearly as rough of a spot as he was before. Good sidestep there from Johnson, utilizing that move speed. He has fleet as well, has the Jhin passive speed as well, so really good backstep to avoid that. He is on the Noon Quiver, so has a better buy, but they do have to show some respect to Santorin because Jose Idioto is just impossibly behind. You know, anywhere Santorin is, Jose Idioto cannot be.
Nice block up. Looks like Ayla blocked what would have been the route, but now you got another play towards the mid lane. Jump forward, couple of Qs, good sidestep to get a push forward, but never able to get wind wall up. Damage comes across. Bjergsen claims his second kill, and mid lane is completely doomed right now. A bit of a route going to come across, but still not much to look for against Ayla, and careful because Santorin's on the side of the map.
And anywhere Santorin is, it's just going to be play the other side for FlyQuest. Jose just having a rough one. The early flash forced, then back-to-back scraps around mid lane. Diana wants to push for a quick 6, has not been able to do it. Jose now trying to cross-map for some farm, but the Krugs are down. He can't get anything. And they are just really falling so far behind in this jungle matchup, and that is kind of spreading everywhere. You know, Santorin is getting Bjergsen way ahead. Now he's fighting around this bot side, taking a dragon for his team. And Diana's just left looking for scraps.
Yeah, and yeah, she can maybe scale a bit better than Xin Zhao. I think Diana does do pretty well as time goes on for a jungler. Yeah. But yeah, you are down 3 camps. You are down 2 kills. Your laners aren't doing too hot either when you've got a, soon to be 10 CS plus 2 kill lead in the mid lane. Not a lot to work with. The Dragon, of course, on the board there as well. And we'll see what the Rift ends up being in 5 minutes time. But the only thing he got going pretty well is Kumo holding on more or less fine. He's going to be within 3 CS of Whippo. Equal level as well. He'll hit 7 off this wave. So top's fine.
Top's fine, and bot's winning. Bot did a great job. I mean, they 2v2 killed Hansama. You know, that was really, really big for them. They forced sums, but you drafted around this mid-jungle comp. It's Diana Yasuo. You know, that is what the focal point of this composition is, and both of them are 0-2. Both of them have really very little power behind that ultimate combo, so you know, even if they are able to pull it off, it's not going to mean that much when there's not a lot of gold behind it.
Nope. We're going to keep trying, though. Nice Q by Whippo. Gets a little bit of poke down and has to drop the CS. So it is about a 5 CS lead, 6 CS lead in the top lane. And Whippo just keeping the pressure up. And with the control he's got in the brush, honestly, not worried about the, I believe, level 5 Diana gank into a Gwen. So
down with the support. Same goal as Aphromoo.
Yeah.
Santorin's top of the table, and that kind of tells the story. Santorin also already level 6, so he's down to fight anyone. You know, he's going to win the 1v1 against every champion on FlyQuest side right now. You got to be so careful about him.
Gets the bottom scuttle for it with a blast over the wall and tries to move his farm up. We keep that 1k difference here, but here we go. It's the play around the mid lane. Bjergsen's back on the map, ready to go with the blasting wand, going towards Ludens with that build, and Tuki gets to kill a control ward, but how about the roams? Jinx is left on the wave bot side, so it's 5v4 for FlyQuest first. If they get there in time, they can bring the Jhin well before Hansama goes, but Hansama's going to get a plates for it. So, okay, Herald will be dropped. So yes, because the rotation, TL identified, they drop it. They say, okay, it's yours, you rotated, fair enough. That's going to you. The question is, what happens on the other side? Because this happened with the second Dragon in the first game.
Yeah.
They dropped the objective, let a side lane get a plate in 2 waves. Once again, drop the Herald, let bot lane get a plate in 2 waves. Ayla hit on the way back, but not going to take too much. Hansama does finally get his time alone with the turret, and it's going to be about 2 waves and 2 plates. That's the cost TL, you know, pays for.
And it's actually even worse because Kumo lost a full wave and a plate top as well, moving over where Graves was just on his tower. And I think FlyQuest were just hoping that TL would get overconfident, that they would scrap 4v5. I mean, literally just happened in the previous series where 100 Thieves took a fight from ahead at Herald and completely lost control of that game against Dignitas because FBI was nowhere to be seen, and they opted into this 4v5. They lost that fight. That really turned the game. In this case, TL says, great, you can have the Herald. We're going to get a plate top. We're going to deny a full wave there. We're going to deny a wave bot, take 2 plates. They just get way more than the expected value is for this Herald.
Very good. Unless you do crash an entire turret. Like, again, normally a Herald charge is 320 gold.
Yep.
Congrats to 2 plates. You did it. Congratulations. Salute to that one. If, however, it claims the last 2 turret plates, or you get 2 turret plates and then finish the final one, like it's already at, 2,500, that last plate is 800 gold from 500 from the turret, 150 from first turret, 160 from the final plate. That's 800. Suddenly that does beat that, but only if it finishes the turret, and that's the rarity.
And it's tough because mid lane is losing. Top lane is in a matchup where you're going to be locked under your tower. And jungle is losing as well, so bot lane's kind of pushed in, right? So it's going to be very difficult to do that because they don't have a lot of chip on any of these turrets to really look for that sort of a play. Plus, if you really want to get in the nitty-gritty, there's experience, there's all these other things too. So it is going to be tough. Bjergsen, really nice buy, has that full Ludens. The Koi has to drop that wind wall here pretty early, and now he will be vulnerable. Is really, really far behind. Obviously went for the upgraded tier 2 boots, but he is miles away from his completed Mythic, and now TL looking to make a move here towards top side. Afro is coming, and so is Jose Dioto, but can Kumo survive long enough?
He can. Ult comes across, trying to block what damage he can, but they're all going to be in range. A nice Bard ult buys some time. The turret's still alive as well, but now Bjergsen's over the wall. Doesn't get the damage yet! Oh, they got one back, and FlyQuest on the board after a 8-minute-long drought.
What a play by Afro there.
Yeah.
The defensive ulti onto Kumo, buying the time. Then the flash Q locks Bjergsen up long enough that the Diana ulti can come through. They finish off that kill. They get a shutdown. They save Kumo. They defend the dive. Perfect roam, perfect play from Aphromoo, one of LCS's biggest veterans, showing up huge for his team.
Yeah, really, really beautiful, well aimed. The turret was still active is like the big thing to me there, aiming it out to the side, making sure that's still a defensive tool. Really nicely done. So let's have again 3v1 and it's turned around.
Yep, 3v1, almost a 4v1 because Bjergsen does show up. You can see Kumo trying to play with the tower in between him and Graves, sidesteps with a dash on the ulti. That bought some time. Then, to your point, again, tower still activated there because the Bard ult was placed just to the right of it. Perfect placement onto Kumo, flash binding, connects on Bjergsen. Great stuff from FlyQuest, buys them a little bit of breathing room. They are still obviously behind. Another Dragon going to go the way of TL, and TL is up gold. But that gets Jose a little bit back into it. He's now closer to parity. He got a kill, he got a mythic, and it keeps Kumo alive and scaling, giving you some win conditions that you can at least point towards.
Absolutely. Well, top of his push in. Jose going to try to shadow this one. Of course, gets the easy push to go for a Herald play. They're going to go say, okay, yeah, it's ours right now. Whippo taking a side step to grab this Krug camp, which I like. He's got no way to play for anyway. But unless he gets pushed out of this lane, you don't finish the entire turret. You're going to get the 2 plates. You can maybe play for a third.
TL are moving up. You're never going to get it.
So 150 gold apiece. Sadly, you're getting kind of the low end of expected value. Obviously, you can completely brick that thing, but 90% of games you're getting 320 and out, or something better. But yeah, it gets to 320. Okay, a little something.
I kind of like the long con here, though.
Yeah.
Jose's sticking around. You're almost always going to expect him to just base, but if Whippo doesn't use his dash, he has ulti and flash. Like, it's really low chance of actually getting the kill. And Whippo's playing really respectful. This is just veteran stuff. Kumo is just playing kind of oddly far forward, and as a result, Whippo's like, no, you wouldn't be standing there. There's got to be someone else here. Yeah. He doesn't see jungle on the map. He didn't see Bard on the map, so he's going to say, yep, I'm only farming with spells. I'm not even going to farm with autos, and I'll play it safe.
Yep. And of course, yeah, did like, oh, she summoned a Herald top and then walked away. Could be in that brush, and indeed was, so smart there, and doesn't want to waste any more time as he scams it back up. So, nice attempt, smart play still. Not going to find the knockup, just sidestepped. Good job, Johnson. Goes to the side, and now Santorin's on the way back down, has a ward. You can see the opponents on, and drops the control ward down as well. And now, good stun, but not much more to look at, as bot lane is getting dangerously low, down to 2 plates. 1 hit. Minions, there we go, 180 apiece.
Yep, you can see FlyQuest down to contest when it's Ayla, but when Santorin shows up, it's time to get out of there. So they're going to back it up, showing respect also to the threat of that Bjergsen roam. He was moving, but they're trying to keep Jose relevant. They're trying to keep having access to the camps. But you can see Santorin saying, all right, you're going to farm that red buff. Well, I'm just going to move in and farm your top side. Whippo already has the push, so Whippo shoves in top. He's going to move down here. TL coming in from all sides and just trying to hold Jose down. Top 4 gold right now. Well, Hans just got past, but top 4 was all TL, still is top 3. They are really doing a good job. And who cares that Ayla has less gold than Afro? That's just
how dare
really
you.
Not relevant.
Support gold income is relevant. Even Shroud is great. No, I agree. Yeah, we don't care. So poor Ayla, whatever, on the bottom for gold income, but he's fine. He's got an assist. It's okay. The only reason he's behind Afro is because Afro got a kill. He was able to Stark one of them at one point in the team fights. Whippo.
But what's the CSD?
Oh, actually pretty positive. But that's just, that's just a bad stat because of spell thieves. But now Whippo has to flash away. Good damage by Kumo. Turret's still taking a lot of damage, and I believe local gold will get missed. So 250 gold goes over to TL, not the 500 for full power, but and I believe first turret gold might be local as well, so...
It didn't look like a big increase, so I think they might have missed out on that as well.
Yeah, not the end of the world. Obviously, you're still winning. You like the map pressure, but yeah, now you've got Bjergsen over here. Looks like the W is going to be up, but the chain, it already hit once, so it's going to go through. Gets rid of some of the damage. Actually, Bill barely lands a single bit of it, but Bjergsen doesn't have any skills left, then Kumo just barely gets away.
Nicely played by Kumo. Utilizing the Shroud as well as he could. TL played well around it, but did make it tricky for them, and just the dash over that turret, not allowing Whippo to finish him off. Bjergsen runs out of spells. He does survive. Has been doing a pretty good job tanking that pressure, but you can see it is showing itself in that CSD. It's a good 30+ CS here for Whippo, who has constantly been on the shove, is going for the same lethality build he did last time, wants to play it here pretty aggressive, and his team is helping to enable him to do it.
All right, down goes Waves it again, but yes, 30 CS lead at top is pretty nice. Whippo's feeling good. As you mentioned, yeah, 3 or 4 people are above everyone else, so looking pretty nice.
And that is terrifying.
Yeah, you are 2 items, you are bursty, and you can, of course, transition into a crit build, so, third item could be like an Essence Reaver or something. You go IE 4th, and you're real scary.
And Whippo has shown he's willing to play super aggressive with a style of build. Graves, if they have confidence and they really know their damage thresholds, you have got to play with so much respect as a carry, because Graves can flash on your face as an AD carry and just auto-E auto and you're dead, or auto-E ult and you're dead. It is a shocking amount of damage when they are lethality. Got to really play with respect.
As we can see, nearly one-shots Afromil, though shot from downtown nearly kills. 1 skill shot kills, though. Santorin flashes for flash. Well played by Afromil. Does he get out is the question. If no one else can get in range, so good fingers by the oldest player in the LCS. Afro still got it.
Definitely does, but TL, they got the Drake. So Afro gets his life. The Drake is the bigger prize here, though, unfortunately. Yep. They're just constantly pressuring, pushing him back, moving Bufo down here. At the very least, they will be able to trade top tower, so Kumo's going to get some gold, scale into this matchup a little bit more, but they will be forced to fight for this 5v5. You know, when you're playing Yasuo Diana, and these sort of upfront bursty comps, even Jhin, you know, because he does deal, you know, missing health damage and kind of execute damage, you need to stop that Mountain Soul.
Diana, to Yasuo, they're going to try for the first one. Hansama gets locked up, the charm didn't come down in time to stop Yasuo. Has to flash get away from EQ3, and it's something finally on the board.
Yeah, first time they're able to finally get that out. They get a kill here for Tukoi. Gonna be feeling good about that initial kill. Plus, I think the biggest prize is that they got all 4 bot lane summoners while still getting the kill. So it's much more repeatable because no flash was used by Jose. Nothing really was committed too heavily to actually find that kill on Hansama. And even while you have that Gale Force cooldown down, you can look for a Bard ulti very easily here too.
Uh-oh, that's a chain that's still gonna hit. They're gonna take the portal. This could be Centaur in front of the kill. We know Flash is down, and he wanted the ward too much. A punishment for sure. Down goes Afro, kill on the board for Team Liquid, and now on the top side, Kumo. Gonna force the TP out, bit of damage, but not gonna be done.
And stay out.
Yeah.
Gives him a little snip for his mouthful.
That's a snip.
Afro is punished though, and now TL are just gonna summon Herald mid. Still doing a good job, just playing around Santorin. Santorin has never given up his lead. He has constantly been way ahead as far as the gold goes. They're actually going to get 2 crashes, 2 towers, and TL just playing really, really well around this jungle advantage that Santorin has created for himself, you know, with the matchup and with his play. Back-to-back games, really impressed by the game plan here from TL, how they know where to play and how to play around this Xin Zhao.
He's like, wait, does he want me? No, he wants the wave. Winning around. If there is a play, he'll be there in time. Wants to go for this one. Chain's gonna land, though. Didn't win wallet, but does he find the knock-up sidestep? Oh, he almost guessed correctly. Did guess downwards, but Bjergsen walked a bit too fast. Would have had to burn the flash. I don't know if ult would have really killed, but it would have looked close, and a worthy attempt there by Tukoi.
Trying to get a little bit of pressure, but has to be careful because they actually haven't spotted, you know, this ward on their side of the map. So, you know, Jose would have been spotted moving away from that because of that pink ward. So Santorin can just run down here knowing that it's not going to be a 2v1. You know, knowing that it would just be a 1v1, and you do not win this as Yasuo against this challenging Smite Xin, who is up on gold.
Absolutely, and it is, of course, keep in mind, this is nerfed Yasuo. We're 12.1, nerfed Shield Bow, 12.2, which we are not on for this weekend. Had the commentation buffs to Samir Yasuo Yone. So this is kind of his power trough for the last several months, and still going to play him. Looking, I mean, okay as far as his CS has been fine. Obviously, he's been picked on a fair bit, and we'll see if the later game fights start to look better, but there is a Jinx who's been farming quite well, despite the early lane lead, has kept up in farm, has, I think, more turret gold, and is fully on 2 items here.
Yep, absolutely. Second item has been completed there for Johnson, too. So he is keeping up, and Tukoi picks up some pieces of that IE. When he hits IE, if he can do that at a reasonable time, that's where you start to have some real threat, I think, behind this combo. Can get pretty scary for those squishies. Hansama has gotten through about half of his flash cooldowns. They haven't been able to punish it just yet, but they really would love to find some sort of a pick before that comes back up. Because if you can get that insta-kill on Jinx, that can lead to something else.
Now they're going to try it again. Rocket Belt 4 a little bit done here. Not going to find the engage. Shots on a Hansama. Out of range for the 4th shot. Wouldn't have killed anyway, but would have been some punishment.
The Gale Force is a small prize.
Yeah, it's a 90-second cooldown. It'll be up as the next dragon spawns, and it's one that FlyQuest absolutely must fight for.
And it does matter when you're playing against Bard, because you can use that to dodge the Bard ult. Otherwise, you need Flash. If he actually just does it from one screen away and you put it right on the character, Jinx cannot just walk out of it. So it is pretty impactful, but it's a small window, and likely Hans is going to play around that, knowing that Afro is around in the area. Clearly, we can see the emphasis on this bottom side, trying to create a line of wards, but there's still deep TL wards behind them. So, you know, they haven't really been able to kind of clear out the vision to their rear. They've just been able to try to establish some wards forward, and as soon as Santorin shows up, they've got to run. They've got to just give up everything.
I believe, and he got some move speed, but didn't actually find anything to really do there, so no engagement after move. Flash is up pretty much everywhere, except Hansama missing his. I think everyone else has the button, or Ghost in the case of Kumo, of course. Everyone's off to the top side of the map. Still getting jumped on by Santorin. And actually, Magical Journey's out. A quick root comes in, but they don't want to engage. Can always pop the ult, and Santorin would live. Dragon's up in 24 seconds now, and mid lane going to be cleared first by Team Liquid. So once again, they get the push. and it's FlyQuest who answers second, but time is ticking down, and TL, you see those control wards, they completely own this part of the map. Danger for Kuma, getting pushed down lower, and lower tries to stay alive for a bit longer. Charm gonna be found, no, not just yet. Ayla gonna get out, and they have knocked down Takui. Unable to get his ulti off, unable to get anything to happen. Nothing going for FlyQuest, a 3,500 gold lead and a Dragon Soul to Team Liquid.
Yep, the pattern continues wherever Santorin goes this entire game. FlyQuest cannot contest. They're gonna grab the soul, potentially even move up towards the top side of the map, try to catch some of these people who are on the exit, but Johnson might get chased down. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen, but now TL can just move their pressure up towards top side, start setting up around the Baron, start looking to get picks in that area, because they do still have really good turn, really good engage, and FlyQuest just don't really have a leg to get into this matchup. The only thing they have is kind of Kumo scaling in the side lane, but he's been pressured so heavily by mid, by jungle, that he's way down in gold.
Yeah, I mean, he is scaling, if you play the really long term, like, well, eventually Flipper runs out of item slots, but that is so far away, and it feels like Baron and Elder Dragon die before we get to the point where Gwen catches up. So I agree with you. This feels a bit out of hand. Team Liquid looking to keep this one in control. 2-0 start has become 6-2 since then, and every single Dragon, and I believe every single Rift Herald. No, they did give one. They gave the first one to FlyQuest, got some turret damage into the top lane. Eventually that turret did fall, but Hansama still just scaling up. Infinity is next, and it's going to be so hard to do anything about this. You mentioned the engage tools are not too numerous. Positano on a flank engage, he can try, of course, but with how low volatility's been in this game, Flash, they're always up. TL finish always going to get out, except for the snap ult, and that gets maybe one or two people.
And when you're down on gold and you're fighting in the Mountain Soul, it's just hard to have enough damage to actually one-shot someone to start a fight, right? Diana Yasuo just has to do that. You need to insta-kill Hans or Bjergsen or someone to really kick off a fight. If you're not able to punch through, it becomes very, very difficult to win that extended fight against a comp like this, who is way up in gold, and now they're just going to straight up start this Baron. No vision really forward in that river whatsoever. They have an idea that it's going on, and they are going to try to check it out.
All right, Bardol makes it disengage for a little bit. Jinult's getting some vision, but they're still there. TP coming across now as Graves will join the fight. 5v5.
You get a big ulti here.
Ozidioto wants in on something. Bjergsen forces a distortion out, so when's the play going to happen? You got him in range, you got to find the fight. Pulling on it too, Yasuo's in. Is it enough? It's a question. Hansama's low, flashes out, stays alive as Tukui's going to fall. On the backside is Ayla at 5 HP, but lives. 3 for nothing. Team Liquid just have too much gold, and they will not die. You have to believe it was closer. That could have been the difference. That would have been 2-0 on the bottom lane, and the rest of it looks a bit better, but it's not going to happen. Bjergsen's now in the chase. Kuma will not have the damage to kill Bwipo. Basically, a solo kill at the end, and Team Liquid start the Baron to get a 4-4-0 and a Baron afterwards.
And that's going to do it. I think that's the death knell of FlyQuest. They knew they had to go for something here, but TL, too strong, too far ahead. Hans and Bwipo barely survive the initial engage. They get out thanks to that gold lead, thanks to the Mountain Soul, the extra levels that they have. Jose and Takui just didn't have enough to finish him off. Imagine if that IE is completed for the Yasuo. Imagine if there's another item here on Diana. The initial engage is good, and I think this is the window you have to go for. Dash in, flash forward, are onto 2 of their squishiest carries, but just not quite enough. Hans living with 300 health, a couple hundred health saved by that Mountain Soul, plus the missing damage from that gold lead just meant they couldn't get that initial kill, and as a result, nothing going on. Bjergsen wrecking havoc in the backline. Bwipo just heals right on up, and Hans even got a lot of work done considering he was pushed out immediately.
Yeah, flash to safety, and then suddenly, oh, Ayla CC'd everyone. Oh, now I'm safe. That's cool. We know the buttons are down.
Now I got to reset.
We know it was E/R from Diana. Rockabelt was down too. There's absolutely nothing left for her, so cool. Autos we go, and everyone died. Well done. You can see he has some decent damage, but yeah, 600 gold for Yasuo. Like, this is what you comped for, and sadly, the professional debut of Tukui's Yasuo, not great.
Does that count the shield damage?
I'm guessing it doesn't.
Because it just seems too low. You know, a 600 damage ult on 2 carries there feels too low to me, but that is possible. Either way.
After armor, it's close.
Yeah, either way, not able to get enough damage out. Not going to matter too much here. TL on the push. Just marching it down here, side lanes. Bjergsen going to be escorting in mid. Is a little bit late to it, so it's not Baron buffed up, but TL looking just to extend this advantage to an insurmountable lead.
No, Hansama just pushing in through the bottom side, looking at play an Ayla. Good route, it does. stop mid-dash, but not going to mean a ton here as it's time for the push. Santorin going to knock down a ward, give it to Whippo, and the siege can now begin as Santorin holds the front line, goes with any engage, he can always ult. Nice turn on the tornado, not going to find it. Kumo going to control mid-wave, but Bjergsen's pushing it in. Gets some decent damage, holds the distortion back in case there's any funny business. There is not, able to walk away and keep the turret getting lower and lower. 1/3 health mid, down to about half in the bottom side, and we can keep going.
And now they step forward with 2 members from FlyQuest going towards that mid tower. They just move in, they knock this down, and now the inhibs will start to fall.
Bjergsen locks down between waves. Could have pushed in mid, choose the statement the team says, you know, if they're going to fight, they might fight now. Okay, the wave is now back in. Cool, we cleared enough of it that was always going to push back to the Nexus turrets, or the inhibitor turrets, I should say. And now we see another attempt in the bottom side as the Jhin ulti doesn't get a whole lot done. At full health, you don't take a whole lot. And now another attempt here. Tukui's forced to run away. Here comes the attempt to charm. Nice portal to safety. Really, really well aimed by Afro. However, it's not going to mean a whole lot because your base is still in shambles. She's looking to retreat now. 30 seconds to go to the Dragon spawns that red flank. Okay. 4,500 of the Rebel Baron power play, but no Kumo's behind them. Nothing to be done, and Santorin's going to feel safe, so the resets come in, and they'll get there just in time to play for Elder Dragon.
Yeah, can they actually get Santorin? I feel like, then it's not going to happen.
I don't think they saw all the recalls. They don't know the full info. I think, yeah, you take the risk and try.
That's kind of my feeling, is that it's like, what is your chance to win this game? You have less than 1% chance to win this game now. If you kill Santorin there and you can 5v4 and get the Elder, maybe you have a shot,
10%.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it would have been worthwhile. Either way, TL gets the reset. They are here. The Elder's not going to die before TL is ready to scrap. And FlyQuest, one final fight.
Here we go. On to the Dragon, 5k health. My fight could matter. Ult's going to tag the support for the engage. When's the team fight start, though? Yasuo's dead. Traded back for jungle, but now it's going to be 4v3 on the map, and out goes FlyQuest. Ultis came through, but didn't do a lot. Great ulti out of Hans. Sama finds another kill on the board. Jinx, 3 out of the 4 games he has played. Team Liquid about to head to the semifinals here of lock-in.
Here goes Whippo.
There's a trap for a slow, and just instantly deleted. I think Elder Dragon wasn't even needed, by the way. I think that was just Graves burst. But this is over. He's got the crit. He's got the Nexus turrets going down. Elder Dragon makes it not very fair. I feel like this is such an easy win for Ayla here. But, you know, we're taking some journeys. They're magical. Will Afro live? He will survive. His season in lock-in will not. Team Liquid 2-0 over FlyQuest.
Really nice series here from TL. 2 different lineups, but 2 of a similar look game. You know, strong control. I've got to say Santorin was so good throughout the series, and just how TL, I think, played around him and around their advantages really was shining in these 2 games today.
Yep. Game
number 1, it's the Kalista, it's the Thresh. You know you're going to have the advantage in that bot lane. So where does he invade? He invades towards Gromp. They pull over a 3v3. They create a large advantage. Well, game number 2, you have a guaranteed pushing lane with Graves against this Gwen in the early stages. Well, where does he invade? It's the top side. He forces the flash from Jose Diodo, putting him way down early on, stealing away camps. Then, when Bjergsen has created an advantage around mid lane, he knows the only way to bail Takui out of that is to actually go mid for Jose and try to push. So he answers there to get kills. And I just think his pathing was really intelligent. The game plan was really intelligent. TL took, I think, very few risks in this game or the last, and we're pretty much in control start to finish.
Yeah, it was fun to see. I mean, in both cases, right? You saw the sub out, like, obviously Corey today is better than Ayla. Obviously Whippo is better than Bradley. This is not, you know, shocking. This is the mildest take you could have possible. But that meant that was the direction that Santorin pathed towards. Oh, we have the winning bot lane. I pathed towards bot, and I'm invading Gromp on camp 6. He's got a winning top side because Whippo's in. I'm invading top, and I'm invading Wolves on camp 4, right? He's like, I know where my strong side is. I know who's showing up first. I'm going to make your life hard. Like, I think in the first game he's against Lee Sin, who's also a good early jungler. It's like, yeah, but I got the bot lane.
But I have
like,
your Kalista, and you have Rakan Jinx.
Right. So your Gromp is mine. Thank you very much. This is on my side. And then just like solo invades the other one because he wins the one-on-one and has pressure, right? Like the LeBlanc, I think, was pushing as well for Bjergsen. So, I mean, that's intelligent from Santorin, right? He's really good at playing around the leads and then taking the most that he's allowed to take. Well, it's safe every time. So, like, you know, credit to him.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of these, you know, comes down to, you know, pre-game planning too, right? The going mid for Bjergsen is an adaptation, but you know Graves is going to get the push into Gwen. You know Kalista Thresh is going to get the push into Jinx and Rakan. Yep. And you can fight around that, have the pre-plan, and that speaks to intelligent coaching. It speaks to intelligent drafting. And I think TL just showed, you know, a couple different looks and looked great.
Looked great. So we are joining the Tigress and Bjergsen himself in our Varsity post-game interview. See you there.
Thank you, Freak. Like many of the people that are watching, I have been looking forward to this moment to welcome Bjergsen back to the LCS as a player here for the Verizon post-game interview. Just tell me, what has it been like transitioning back to putting on a jersey day and day again?
It's been a lot of fun and just really exciting getting to play games. I don't think I realized how much I missed playing until I actually kind of got back into it and we started scrimming and we started just playing together as a team. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun and I can't wait to start playing these higher stakes matches going into semis and finals. It's going to be fun.
Well, I'm glad you've been enjoying playing again because you've been doing a lot of it, double duty over in Academy, coming here onto the stage for LCS. You just got your first best of series of the season done. How has it been dealing with the chaos of that heavy schedule alongside the roster rotations? That means playing with a lot of different players as well.
It's been a little bit tough also because I'm sick and I've been sick, so my energy is a little bit drained. But I feel like I was worried that I was going to play really poorly, but I'm still doing okay in the games. At least I'm not inting the games. But it was fun getting to play in Academy, and I think it's been fun learning to play with so many different players. We've been playing with Jan, Bradley, and Ayla, obviously, and it just takes a little bit more adaptation because every player is a little bit different, communicates a little bit differently, likes to play a little bit different champions. So I think it's been good for me getting thrown into the mix with all these different players, and it just makes me more adaptable, I think, as a player and teammate.
Yeah, and I do hope you feel better. No one ever likes having to operate at not feeling like 100%, but we do get to enjoy seeing you play on the Rift. And I know that when you were speaking in a Horizon interview, actually when you were in Korea, you talked about the fact that you really wanted to get back to this lifestyle of constantly wanting to improve as a player and be there for the team. What has that progress been like? Because it is such a shift from what you have to do as a coach.
It's a little bit more selfish, I think, when you're a player because it's all about making sure that your performance is good. Of course, the team as well as a whole, but it's really important to just be at your best every single day, have as much energy as possible every single day, being able to put in the hours in practicing and studying, which is similar for a coach, but of course, your performance matters more as a player because you have to perform in so many games in a practice day, or for example, today I need to potentially perform in 3 games in a row, so I need to have my energy be really good and consistent. It's just a lot of fun. Honestly, this is just very comfortable to me because this is a lifestyle I led for so long. Going into the coaching position was really a little bit different for me. And it was also interesting trying out something new, but this is where I really feel comfortable and at home being a player.
And I'm sure that time away as a coach has contributed to your development as a player too. And now really locking into the games, you're talking about having to think about your own performance. You do have another one on the horizon against Dignitas, maybe not what you and the rest of the squad were expecting. What are your thoughts on that upcoming best of series that you have in the semifinals of Lock-In?
Yeah, I did not expect to play against Dignitas, but I think that they showed some pretty good strategies. I think that they have a very clear way that they play the game. I don't want to give away too much, but I think there's a lot of good things for us to learn watching how they played against Hunter Thieves and understanding what they like to pick and how they like to play. And I think that they found success with it. They were still, especially the first game was pretty crazy, like back and forth. It was a pretty entertaining game to say the least, but I think Dignitas has really showed how they like to play and we can use that to our advantage.
Well, we all look forward to seeing you take them on in the next round of play. And on behalf of everyone, once again, I would like to say welcome back to the stage. And thank you so much for this interview, Bjergsen.
Thank you. I'm going to kill Biofrost.
All right. That's what you heard, everybody. Biofrost gonna be dying the next time they take to the Rift. It's time for us to continue breaking down this series on the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you so much,
Chris. It's always good to have him back. It's always good to have him back in the league in some way, shape, or form right now as a player and performing quite well, if I do say so myself. Bit of a different, shade to Bjergsen, though. Very direct.
Yeah.
A little dark.
I'm gonna kill you, Biofrost.
Okay. All right, let's see it next time around.
Hey, they won a championship together.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Bring the boys back together. Team Liquid, for all of the different amalgamations of rosters that they've come to the table with, they continue to impress and continue to work as they snag this 2-0 over FlyQuest.
Yeah, 8 different players picking up victories. They've only had 1 loss throughout the whole lock-in so far. I mean,
Feels good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
The system's
maybe
working.
they win the whole thing.
They might. They just might. I know you're hoping for it.
Stop it.
Let's talk champ select here.
Okay.
Because I think all of us shuddered a little bit at the FlyQuest draft in light of what they're up against here, Emily.
And also, like, in light of what they're comfortable with. So I actually do like the Diana-Yasuo combo, but we talked about, like, how comfortable that this team is going to be piloting something like that. And when you play it, like, even if you look at EG Dig yesterday when they piloted the Diana, they had the Tryndamere mid, but they also had Senna Leona bot, and then more importantly, they had the Renekton in the top. So you need some sort of push or some sort of aggression, like secondary kind of engage, initiation, something like that, to help the Diana out, especially since she has to kind of farm up. She's probably not going to be as interactive with her lanes early. And, you know, again, the Yasuo provides that, and they're amazing in tandem with each other, but I feel like they needed something else to be able to have some sort of forward pressure to help them out. And once it falls behind, it's not fun.
Welcome to the series, Flippo.
Well, one something else is an early first blood going over to Jin, and that to some degree made us think, okay, even if we didn't love the draft, an early advantage in the bot lane could be a way that FlyQuest finds their answer.
Yeah, and I think individually, Aframu had a good game, but something that was happening during that replay actually was Santorin was stealing away Gromp and Blue from Diana and burning Diana's flash. So when this comes up, they just know they're coming from a much more powerful position.
And all throughout that initial part, the way that this Diana was kept down, like obviously you're going to look at Tukoi in the mid lane and the fact that he did get killed a few times, but you're also going to look at the fact that Diana was not allowed to like farm comfortably in this game because of Santorin's actions.
Yeah, and so this kind of just breaks the game, that play that you end up seeing. And in general, just kind of touching back on the draft, I think it's really difficult to play Diana Yasuo into just that 2v2 of LeBlanc and Zin's out. You're just going to get destroyed. So that was something that they had to deal with. The early advantage that you say, Jat, definitely didn't help. And there goes, as you can see through the goal difference over time, just going down.
Across both games, the gold graphs are incredibly pretty for Team Liquid, right? We constantly talk about, yeah, exactly. You want to see that cascade, almost the exponential, you know, curve in one direction or the other for a team that's in a winning position. And of course, it's Team Liquid this time around. Every single player, to some degree, those 8 all stepped up. The one who stepped up the most, though, across this series has got to be Santorin. And to me, this goes back to that conversation we're having top of day in waiting room. The ceiling of Team Liquid. Those questions being asked. Ooh, Santorin was having some health issues in summer, and Bjergsen coming out of a year away from the game, or rather just coaching and not as a player. And, well, at least Santorin doesn't look like he's missed a beat.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see Santorin back and playing well. I know what a competitor this guy is and how much it crushed him to not be able to play the whole season last year. So I hope he keeps up this level of performance because when he's on, he's a great player.
And I think people need to remember that once he did figure out those health issues and came in, he was really good.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a sort of, because I know obviously Bjergsen, he's still getting back into playing. He took like an entire year off, but with Santorin, he came in and he was pretty much really good right off the bat.
And it's kind of, it is scary. It's not kind of, it's scary for a lot of these teams, like how many pieces they can take away. You're going to put Bradley in one game, they can put Ayla, they can put Yeon, and in the end of the day, they're just a dominant team. Like we're not even being full power. And so, yep, today was, business, it felt like, for Team Liquid. The next series, it feels like it's going to be overwhelmingly in their favor. I've said that.
Is it, though?
I said that for the first series of the day. I said that earlier.
Santorin River matchup.
And it bit me, yeah. Okay, it bit all of us.
Right. Learn from your mistakes, Raz.
No.
That's all I have to say. You talk about how, about that matchup. Now, they've now earned themselves in the semifinals, and it's going to be a tough one because there were a lot of incredible plays made by that Dignitas roster earlier today. Our Rock Hat big play of the day actually goes to not just one play, but all of Neo's play in game 1 of their series. I mean, I appreciated watching him across both of their games. The aggression that we saw out of him is something to definitely be called out.
It's also cool because, again, we cited, and more specifically, Raz cited Neo as the player that he wanted to see kind of pop off in this series. We talk a lot about how River set it up, but Neo in these team fights on both the Aphelios and the Ezreal was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he has always been kind of that playmaker. In fact, if I were to ask you guys, what would you say is a champion that aligns with him? Like, if you think Neo, what champion? I'll say for you, Jap.
For Neo, honestly, it's Ezreal and Aphelios.
Yeah.
I think it's those two. Those two that he's most
The other one that I
comfortable
would say is pretty close is Callista.
Okay.
Because of what he was able to do. So Callista's a good one, but Ezreal, even in Academy, he's always just been insane on that champion because he has more liberty and mobility.
Yeah.
And he's able to blink. He blinks forward a lot if he finds those plays. He was able to do that in game 1. And even though like you can critique Dignitas's strategy in that game and how they could have played better, coordinate better, they just didn't have much time to practice, and they're definitely going to be going to the back and looking over that. But what you do have is valuable in Neo, in River, smart players, and strong mechanically.
I love this tweet here. You can tell how much it meant to a number
Oh,
of guys
yeah.
sign up, right? Fake God tweeting out, finally, my first best of series win since Scouting Grounds. So that's how he earned his way into the LCS and into the hearts and minds of many as a mainstay and a name known by plenty. But to take down the defending champions, to push yourself to a semifinal and to earn that matchup against Team Liquid, I mean, just that alone, I think a best of 5 against Team Liquid is going to be a treat for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty tough for Dignitas, only because I will say this. I think Dig have a really good understanding, especially through River, of how they want to play like really early, like early to mid. But then where TL should have the advantage is mid beyond, because I do think we saw kind of a better macro showing from them. Late
like
game.
that. Oh, okay.
Mid and beyond. Mid till the game end, Dash.
I was like, ooh, what's
Until it
beyond?
finishes.
He was talking about that.
The unknown. Okay. You're selling me on it. It's like the League of Legends expansion pack over
snap.
here. Oh, Lordy. All right, well, it's time for the best part of the day, some bracketology.
Whoa!
Let's update as we have
Throw it
our
up.
2 series victors. Moving on to that semifinal is Dignitas and Team Liquid. But before we get to that matchup next weekend, we've got 2 more sets of matches coming at us tomorrow. It's going to be EG versus Golden Guardian. It's going to be Cloud9 versus CLG. Raz is tapping the desk, which means he's got lots to say.
I love you, Chime. Good luck. It's a catastrophe.
Maybe he doesn't have a lot to say, but just very pointed to say.
I was going to say the biggest upset potential has got to be that CLG game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
You said, I think you said that the other day too, right?
Yes.
You were like, that's the one that you feel has the most potential to go the other way?
Literally before any of these series had played out, I was like the CLG versus C9 game. Just because CLG had just gotten so much better throughout their first game to the last one. They have a lot of great talent. But of course, I didn't see that Dignitas game, and you know that one is a big highlight. But definitely watch out for that one.
Wasn't it Vulcan who tweeted like how weak is Group A?
Yeah.
He did do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here's how that gets interesting, right? Because so today we said like at the very top,
right?
Hey, maybe FlyQuest has the highest upset potential because they're the ones who took a game off like the top team of 100 Thieves.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now
Right?
Dignitas has taken.
That was the Group A team,
Yeah.
right?
True.
Cloud9, they're lower stock. They got slammed by 100 Thieves, who also just got slammed by Dignitas. These are terrible, by the way. Like I hate it when people are like, well, if this team
this
beat
is
that
good.
team, this team.
A lot of transitive property.
The really
stuff.
simple one is like 3rd place Group V versus 2nd place Group A. It could happen.
It really could.
CLG.
It really could. All right, well, we'll start the day tomorrow with the LCS waiting room at 12 noon, and then the games start promptly at 12:30. That is an hour earlier than today. Do not forget, mark your calendars. Come hang out with us as we chat about all things LCS. But for now, we're going to close the studio down. That does it for us here. So on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCS. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other. Good night.